complication of diabetes. So I think that is the what I know of prostate disease.
Thanks. Yeah,
Can I
Sam.
ask another question?
Yes. No, 1 second. I use ChatGPT and my Open Evidence. I could have gone to Open Evidence too, which is a AI program I use to get in medical information. But I just went to ChatGPT. So ChatGPT asked, what are the beneficial effects of pumpkin seeds? Okay, and ChatGPT said, I'll just read I won't go into the details.
Yeah, do.
Rich in nutrients. Okay, they have magnesium, zinc, iron, copper, manganese. Okay, and also healthy fats, dietary fiber, and protein. High in antioxidants. These seeds are rich in antioxidants, including carotenoids, vitamin E, help to reduce inflammation and protect cells. Supports heart health, and so on and so forth. Okay, improves prostate health. Pumpkin seeds are traditionally used to support prostate health, particularly in reducing the symptoms of benign prostatic hyperplasia, like what Sam said, a condition in which prostate enlarges and causes urinary symptoms. Enhances bladder health. Some studies suggest that pumpkin seeds extract can improve bladder function and reduce symptoms of overactive bladder. So it's both prostate health and overactive bladder. And supports sleep. Pumpkin seeds are a natural source of tryptophan, an amino acid that promotes sleep. Consuming pumpkin seed before bed, along with carbohydrate source like fruit, can help the body convert tryptophan to serotonin and then to melatonin, producing better seeds. Aids in blood sugar reduction, boosts immune system, supports bone health, and is anti-parasitic properties. So all good.
Also anti-inflammatory.
Yeah, it says that.
I read it somewhere.
So that's good stuff. So I'm going to start taking. How much do you take, Sam?
I take 1 tablespoon full of pumpkin seeds and a full teaspoon of flaxseed powder.
And where do you buy it? Costco. Where do you get it?
Yeah, it's available in supermarket. When I went to Sri Lanka, I was a bit disappointed. I couldn't find any. I went from supermarket to supermarket. And finally, I found there is a Apico supermarket in Colombo, within walking distance to where I live. They have pumpkin seed. They import it from America, they told. So I've been getting it regularly.
Karuni, and in America, you can buy it just about anywhere. Whole Foods, Jewels, wherever, grocery stores. Even order online from Amazon.
So what are the other things? Pumpkin seeds, and what else do you put?
Flaxseed.
Flaxseed, yeah.
Flaxseed powder, because don't take the seeds, because I read that they don't digest well, because the outer layer is too tough to be digested. So you've got to take the powder. It goes quite well with bees honey and yogurt. That's been the regular thing that I have been taking for the past 2.5 to 3 years. And the symptoms of, getting up at night stopped about 3 months after taking it. And another colleague of mine, I don't want to mention name, one of our batchmates, just told me a few days ago, he has started taking it. He doesn't get up anymore, which is a damn nuisance to be woken up at night.
I know.
Can I ask you all, whoever knows about prostate, what is the difference between free PSA and PSA? Sri Lankans say that the free PSA is a better test. I don't know. Can somebody enlighten me on that? Do you do free PSA?
Yeah, they do it. I don't know the specific PSA significance, but generally many of these hormones and everything, thyroid for instance, they are transported bound to proteins, because many are like your lipoprotein. Lipids cannot be transported because they are not water soluble. So all these get attached to various protein molecules to be transported. So, but that transported, generally when there's a bound substance, whether it is bound thyroid or bound lipid or bound thing, that is not active. It has to be in the free stage. Testosterone there's total testosterone and free testosterone. All the hormones are generally transported bound to protein, and that's the bound protein. Free is generally the active form. So the free is a better indicator of the active form. And also when the protein is bound, alteration in the protein concentration will alter the level of the stuff. So that's why. But I don't know. Out here now in America, my impression is that they don't do PSA anymore for cancer screening in health, because they find that mild elevation of PSA, mild enlargement of the prostate, mild prostate cancer is better left untreated, especially over a particular age. They leave it. So I don't know the answer to the question, but I think that's the general rule. Transportation requires it to be bound to protein, and therefore it is an inactive form. The total, much of it is inactive. Only the free is active. Generally, in case of thyroid, testosterone, hormones, I know that. So that's what I think this is here too.
Thank you, sir. Maharuf, I have a non-medical suggestion.
Yep.
I rang Lal exactly after the 7-day Dhan because I couldn't get his telephone number correctly. And thank you, Narada, for sending it. Then he said, not many people seem to know. So I just thought of
About what?
looking at
About what?
Sorry?
About what?
About his
About Lal's wife's obituary. So what my
I didn't know
suggestion
that,
to the
What do you
group
mean?
is, you were informed, Maruf, by me because I had that conversation with Lal when he
no,
said,
it is in the
not
Slimo,
wait, let
Slimo
me
group.
finish. Let me finish.
I didn't know
Maruf.
that.
Yeah, wait a minute. That's not a critical statement about you. What I'm saying is, the moment we hear about the death of a batchmate or any significant person where the Slimo group should know, we should get in touch with you. That is my message. No criticism, Maruf. You are doing a wonderful job. Even the belated obituary, the condolences were sent very appropriately and a lot more people joined. What happened on this occasion was nobody thought of getting through to you. And Lal was a bit upset and said, doesn't seem to know, the Slimo doesn't seem to do anything about it or something like that. So
Yeah, I didn't know that.
my suggestion is, whoever comes to know about the obituary, just ring you and see whether you know about it. Because 7 days later only you knew about it. That's my suggestion.
I heard about it today only. I didn't know that. All right.
Oh, it
When
was
did
on the,
when did Banshi pass away?
I think
23rd of
10 days ago.
23rd or something, isn't it?
Yeah.
Of this month.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
And we announced it late, but still there were response from people. So actually Lal knew about it, but I tried to call him, he didn't answer today.
This
Because
we met her. You were there, no? At your lunch we met.
Yes,
organized
I put a picture from that on the
Yeah.
Slimo.
Yeah.
Slimo, yeah, she was there. She was there. Lal's daughter was there,
Yes.
and
But
Lal was there.
She had been on heavy doses of steroids for a long time.
Yeah.
I went to see her while she was in ICU. I went with Nalin about several months earlier.
She was wheelchair bound,
Hmm.
but she did take care of me. But the daughter was looking after her.
Hmm.
I have 2 or 3 picture photos, and I put one of those on the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talking of batchmates who are not too well, does anyone know what Pats and Vijita are up to and how they're doing?
They are back in Sri Lanka, right?
So I gather.
You guys don't see them at all?
I hope I'll be able to. I'll try and see them. Nalin is coming in November. I'll be going in October. We'll try and meet up with them because Nalin is in touch with.
who are going to Sri
Rabi
Lanka?
Fry.
Better say
Sorry?
hello to Lal, and Lal's number is on the.
I'll definitely see Lal without a doubt.
Lal's
But,
number is on the our WhatsApp group. Slimo group.
Yeah.
I think,
This Vijita Pats, because she's Rabi and Vijita married to 2 sisters.
Yeah.
Nalin is in touch
Nalini.
with Rabi, and so we have their details. So we're going to definitely go and see them.
Did you
also
see
go and
Rabi? Go ahead.
Rabi is also virtually wheelchair bound. I don't know.
Yeah. I met Ravi in January. I went and visited him.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, because I went to Connecticut.
Right.
Yeah, and my grandnephew was elected mayor of Hartford, Arun and Arulampalam. So I went for the inaugural, and then I went and visited our friends there. So I visited Ravi and a wonderful visit, nice visit. Had a little meal with him. He's wheelchair bound, but very active and so on. And I told him about the Slimo, and he said he'll join. He's quite with it, and he stays in Connecticut. I should call the guy and try and get him to join. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think he had some setback a couple of months ago. I think Nalin said they have got a
I have been contacting him
full-time.
after the visit to Connecticut. I mean, in January. That was on the first week of January. I have not visited him after that.
Right.
But I haven't contacted him. I should do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So Ranjit, election in Sri Lanka also, right?
Can you hear me?
Yes. What
yeah,
about?
there's a news just now that 15 billionaires have joined the support of Kamala Harris. New billionaires. So I think there is a lot of energy in her side. I mean, lots of people are positive, and the Congress itself was worth watching.
Is there going to be a debate on the 10th of September by the two of them?
If Donald Trump doesn't change his mind.
And Kamala Harris, I read
Trump
about some
doesn't
debate.
change his mind.
She's on the debating structure. She's very, very facade. She's very good.
That's
She's
excellent.
very good. Yeah, but I have a feeling he won't debate.
Mm.
He will try to avoid it, yeah, because it's already.
So Ranjit, what's happening in Sri Lanka election?
Election. Ranil Wickremesinghe is there, and that JVP man is there, and Sajit Premadasa, other contenders, 3 contenders. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
No, what I want to say is, 3 of us went for Lal's wife's funeral. Myself, MBS, and Subhasinghe. We attended the funeral.
I saw that. Yeah, you, Dilari, Subba went.
Sajit Premadasa is seeming to be having good support from all sides, Tamils, Muslims.
But there is a problem because Ranil and Sajit, I think the votes are going to get split.
Yeah.
And there is a very good chance that the other guy, the JVP guy, will make it. Because my feeling is that Ranil should step down. And then, of course, Sajit will definitely walk through. But my feeling is that because the center and the right votes are going to be split, the average villager will vote for the other guy, you see.
They're looking for the green card.
Why don't you tell your brother to do that? Your brother, right, Ranil?
My brother. Yeah, I tried to talk to him.
Why don't you abduct the guy and you become the president? No one will know the difference.
That's all planned, you see. He'll disappear on the day.
No. But Sam and Ranil have a remarkable resemblance. I always felt that.
So we have Ranil among us.
Saro, can you hear me? Saro?
Yeah. So Ranjit.
Go on.
Ranjit, by the way, I didn't see your photographs and Lal's Bunchi's the funeral. Yeah.
Photograph?
No. I saw that the picture you had taken at the funeral. Thank you for that. Yeah. So
Saro?
Yeah.
You want to know this what Nihal Perumal had died of? I only knew that he had some problem with his prostate, and he had been enduring catheter for a long time.
Yeah.
He had said he doesn't want to have any surgery, and I will go when they have to let me go.
Yeah, I
I don't know
think,
whether it's,
yeah, he had this, as you know, he had some neurodegenerative condition for a long time that, he started with like unable to move his muscles and various things like that, and ended up having to have, the catheter and so on. And I think it was some kind of a blood septicemia type final attack or something like that
Are you
is
ready
my
for lunch?
impression. But, it was a
Yeah.
little bit hard to get the details from Shirani,
Okay, so I'm coming down.
who is the person I was contacting, and his brother, Sarath, who lives in London, and the sister lives in Australia, Sydney. So the two of them didn't have that much in-depth knowledge of his condition. It was mainly Shirani. Even the two children, I don't think knew. One was again in Sydney, the other one is in Hawaii. So it was mainly the wife, Shirani, who was aware of everything. And she was so busy and all of that, it was hard to get details from her. And I didn't push anything too much also.
Hello, where was he? He was in Sri Lanka.
He was in Sri Lanka always. His children were out, his brothers and
He
sisters
never
were
left
out.
Sri Lanka.
I'm sorry?
He never left Sri Lanka.
He left for studies and stuff like that, or to visit his children, I think, but basically he was based in Sri Lanka. Yeah. So the exact, details are difficult, but my final impression was some kind of, they get this weird septicemia with weird organisms that don't respond to anything, and their immune systems are so down by then that, yeah. And
Hello, his meditation was good. He was mentally
sorry?
alert. He was mentally alert.
Towards the latter part, I think probably not, but earlier, yes. When did Sarath visit? Maybe even like 6-7 months ago, he was sort of lucid and able to. He really didn't want to see anybody. When I was there, I tried to see him, and he was not very receptive. So you have to respect their wishes for these things. And
Yeah, you are talking of Tenapadu, is it?
yeah.
Yeah, in fact, I met Hemal Fernando, cardiologist. This was about a year ago, and he told me that he was not well. He had a catheter. He had come for the cardiology conference in a sarong. This is what he told me. And my only concern was that he was catheterizing, but I got the message across through Pram because I just said, make sure that he has got a silicone or elastic catheter and not a rubber catheter, because sometimes they do that and that can cause strictures subsequently. And she got back to me and said, no, he has a silicone catheter. This problem was there for Kumar. When Kumar was in ITU, I went to see him in the hospital and I found the rubber catheter. And I said, my goodness, he shouldn't have a rubber catheter. I immediately called his wife, Mahesh, and said, make sure it is changed to elastic, because rubber catheter for all periods of time causes strictures in the urethra. So, and they changed it at that time. That was the only contact I had regarding Tenapadu.
And Nihal was also sort of in a coma towards the latter part, I think, more or less not quite, conscious and all that. All in all, after a while, these are kind of what I call probably merciful deaths in the end.
Well,
is Lawrence there? Lawrence?
Yeah.
I'm here. What's up?
Hi, Lawrence. My
Hi, how are
question is,
you?
since you are a super expert in evaluating the mind of people, what is your opinion of a 78-year-old man contesting to be the leader of the world?
Padmalingam, can I ask you, please make a request? I think less we talk about the guy, the better it is for our country.
I think so, yeah. In fact, I have got a question for everybody. How many of you fast? To give more than 12 hours in the night or whatever. Intermittent, how many of you practice intermittent fasting? Anybody?
I do.
Just to say that I usually fast from 8 p.m. to noon the following day. I have not had breakfast for the past 2.5 years. And I don't know. I find that I feel better because
No, there's definitely a lot of literature on intermittent fasting, and definitely there is nothing to say that it is direct. At least I haven't looked at it in depth. But in terms of caloric control, which is a major challenge, we all eat too much, and it increases insulin resistance and the whole thing that happens. You if you can either eat less food at each meal or eat intermittently, where also you consume less food. And intermittent fasting is an easier thing because it's time bound. I mean, it is not what the quantity of food bound as much. So it's the easier thing to implement, and a lot of people are implementing with good results. And once a day is quite common. How many times do you eat? You eat twice a day,
I
Sam.
eat twice a day. I have my lunch around 12:30 and
Yeah.
dinner at about 8.
Certainly,
And
twice a day is preferable to 3 times a day.
yes,
and
the effect of ketones, obviously, your sugar is depleted after a while, and then ketone takes over for the metabolism, especially for the brain. I have read that it's supposed to be beneficial to the brain.
I don't.
You
I
read
don't
anything
necessarily.
to pertaining to that?
No, that is the keto. The ketogenic diets and ketones are not beneficial to the brain. I can tell you that that's a little bit of nonsense.
Is it? I see.
Yeah. But the main thing is you take only the amount of calories you need, and that's a critical thing. How you do it, there is what you eat, how much you eat, and how often you eat. These are the three variables we have to talk about. Now, you must eat enough for your general need, because your body needs a certain amount of calories and certain amount of protein and certain amount of minerals. The problem we have is in our current culture with the food industry, we eat too much. So when you decrease the frequency of eating, you eat less. Okay. Now, the ketogenic diet guys were trying to lose weight. Okay, that's a different challenge. Instead of maintaining the weight, losing weight, and in that instance, they ate a high protein diet. An essential thing that was happening was low calories, but then there was ketones coming out, and they said it was good and all that. I haven't studied it. I can't tell you I'm expert on that, but I'm skeptical about it. I think the impact you want is to decrease your insulin resistance, decrease your caloric intake to what you need. You need, for at our age, we need about 15 to 2,000 calories a day. Okay. And if you get into the habit, and if you eat twice a day, because you can't eat more than a certain amount at each meal, you'll do well. And twice a day, once a day is better than 3 times a day, no question about it. And that is my bias. I don't know whether anyone else has any thought.
Yeah,
Lawrence, do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, I
opinion.
kind of tend to a schedule like that too. Basically,
Yeah.
ends up being 2 meals.
I think we have got. I think Karunian and Saro and Sam should get together and make a sort of things that are beneficial for us in form of nutrition, because I'm looking into life care as opposed to health care. Health is a result, life is a actual action. Living, during living, I think we need to look into all this. Getting angry, getting upset, all that can affect us in the long run. At our age, I think I talk to a lot of my Uber drivers who take me around about life care, and quite a number of them are interested. I think it is the way to go, taking care of your life, where you participate in your own care. I think we need to have some sort of guideline on the nutrition. Nutrition is a very important thing. It's sort of a varied. One time it is ketogenic, one time it is low carbohydrates, and one time it is a high protein. Which is the correct one? We need to, if you can compile one of those, that will be a great help, and that can be a universal thing we can make. I think Karunian can lead the
No,
group.
Sam is a man who's
I
getting
cannot get involved. I can only come up with various things that I do, that I have read, which I find useful. Now, I'll tell you a couple of things that I have read.
Excellent.
One is
Excellent.
turmeric. the curcumin in turmeric is supposed to be extremely beneficial. But it's very clearly stated that turmeric does not get absorbed unless you have pepper in the turmeric. Whenever you cook turmeric, you must put pepper. They say the absorption is increased. If you take turmeric tablets, you find that there is always pepper in those turmeric curcumin tablets.
Black
That is
pepper.
one. Second is of course tomatoes. They say the lycopene in tomatoes is very little absorbed if you eat fresh tomatoes. A guy called William Lee, Harvard trade guy, says you must always cook your tomatoes to break down the cells to absorb the lycopene in the tomatoes. These are a couple of things that I have come across, and I always practice that.
This is turmeric, and there is pepper in this. Good.
Yeah, you have to have pepper.
I take this capsule every day.
The absorption is increased by 2000%. If you otherwise the turmeric, which is very beneficial to the body, just passes through.
So, Sam, whatever you have said, the 3 or 4 points you have made on these nutrients, why don't you just write it on the Slimo, the website?
Let's make a PowerPoint presentation by Slimo.
I will write down, whatever I do, because I have read and I practice it.
And for example, we got from one of our Slimo meetings that vitamin D3 and K2 combination is good. So I think I use that as well.
Yeah.
And this is pepper.
So why don't you put it on and Slimo, and then we'll get it through the AI now.
Yeah.
Lawrence is also using. Lawrence, are you using open evidence?
This Maruf, vitamin D3 and K2, the important thing is K2 has to be the MK7 brand. MK4 is short-lived. You've got to take the MK7 in the
MK7.
D3. You must always look. I buy mine from Amazon, and it has to be MK7.
I got that.
That is one. Has it got MK7?
I got that as well.
Is it MK7? If it is MK4, it's useless.
Time to sleep.
The other thing is, this coenzyme 10 is supposed to be extremely useful, especially people who are taking statins. They say must take coenzyme 10. Again, coenzyme 10, there are two forms. The reduced form, which is ubiquinone. They say elderly people must take the ubiquinol, NOL, which is supposed to be the reduced form and is easily available to the body. In fact, I told one of the cardiologists, he knew nothing about it. I said, every patient who is on statins must take coenzyme 10.
Sam.
This is MK7. Sam, MK7.
MK7
is the one.
That's correct. So
Sam,
now, so
Sam,
let's
put all this out, but on the coenzyme Q10, Sam, a double-blind study has been done and has not shown any benefit.
Well, I don't know. The thing is, Carnian, there are other studies which say it has beneficial. They say these statins is supposed to follow the same path.
I know, yeah.
And that can reduce the amount of coenzyme 10 available to the body. But my policy is, my thinking is nothing is lost by taking it. You see? Because we, for instance, at our age, our immunity is low. Whatever you can do to improve the immunity, we should do.
I think so. And I think we can actually generate a PowerPoint presentation for everyone. Here is a liposomal vitamin C.
See, the point is this, Sam.
So let's
a lot of things are good. There's a whole. I mean, it's good. I mean, I'm not. I like you to set this. I'm going to look into all these and see what I can do. Like
I think it will generate a good material.
But will you put a list down, Sam, about the 7 or 8 things you just said?
Yeah, Maruf, got it on. Maruf, you're recording it also. It will be on.
Yeah, I'm recording it.
No, but I'll send a written down.
Send a written thing
on the Slimo Slimo,
I will make a
WhatsApp group.
PowerPoint presentation out of it. I'll do a little bit of research, and then
Yeah,
you
do
all
that
can add to it, and we
because
can
it's
discuss at the
useful
next meeting.
It's useful for everybody, especially
But
not
Sam,
medical people, because
sure.
they don't know. Because you ask them, no, I talked to them about pumpkin seed, they knew nothing about it.
Yeah, that's true. Those
There
things
are a
I
lot
think.
of medical people who need some assistance. People who are at our age, they need a lot of assistance because they don't know what to eat. Cutting back on carbohydrates and things like that. You see, most of the guys in Sri Lanka, their main meal is rice, vegetables, tiny amounts of vegetables. If you look at a plate. So these are things that, I keep telling them, cut back on your rice, but eat a lot more
We can
vegetables,
produce
all types of vegetables,
we can produce
Mediterranean type of diet. And
we
try
can
and stick to fish and chicken and things like that, white meats as opposed to red meats. And then one thing I always take is make sure that my bowels move properly on a daily basis. I always add okra to my boiled vegetables. Okra is a must every day, which I have taken for the past several years. And I have regular bowel movements because of that, I know. And I read a lot about okra, which is a useful thing to have and is freely available all over the world.
Sam, a request, Madan.
Yeah.
On the pumpkin seed and the couple of things you said about
coenzyme Q10.
yeah. Can you just on the Slimo put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 what you do?
Yeah.
And then the second thing is tell what you said to Maruf, and Maruf can make a slide from that.
Yeah.
And then we'll talk at one of our meetings. Now I have generally had a bias, starting from my days at Lady Ridgeway Hospital, of trying to not just take something what someone says, but to look to see how much of scientific evidence there is.
Understand.
Yeah. And it's worth doing it. Now it's very easy to find out because of a lot of the internet and so on. We can do some of that too, and make it an interesting talk, an educational talk.
And then we can actually publish a booklet in the name and then in multiple languages, and it will be a good project for us. I think we can do it electronically, and that will be even good. So I think Padmalingam wanted to raise a point. Yeah.
Not about Trump, please.
General statement. My statement is the human body is so meticulously created by the good Lord Almighty, it tends to heal by itself most of the time. Doctors and healthcare individuals are there to improve the derangement of health in all people, and medicine has come a long way in improving healthcare. What I want to say also is that possibly Karanian was telling about treatment of hypertension and diabetes, and he being an endocrinologist, I have a question for you, Karanian. My question is, the cheapest medication for the treatment of diabetes is metformin. And I know if the renal function is deranged, you don't continue metformin. But can you update the modern way of reasoning out as to when to discontinue metformin in a patient who has been on it for a long time? How do you make a decision?
See, the metformin is one of the safest and the most long use. It's been used for over 70, 80 years, and it has least amount of side effects, the bad side effects of any medicines that I know. It's a fantastic medicine, and unless you have GI symptoms, some people are unable to get, they get uncomfortable GI symptoms. There's nothing else that it does anything bad. In fact, there's some evidence to show that it decreases colon cancer, and some evidence to show that people who take metformin live longer for whatever mechanism. Right or wrong, I don't know. So it's fantastic. The only contraindication to that is, since it is excreted through the kidney, when the creatinine goes up, over 2 or 2.5 or something, I don't know the exact thing, then you have lack of excretion, and then there's an accumulation of lactic acid, not lactic acid, but some acid, which alters the acid-base balance of the body. And that's the only negative. So unless you have a renal failure with the EGFR of less than 30, I give it. Even if the EGFR of 50, I will give metformin. It's a fantastic medication. It doesn't cause hypoglycemia. It decreases insulin resistance. That's the way it acts. So you don't have to. You can give it until the GFR, the glomerular filtration rate gets below 30. So it's a fantastic drug, and I would recommend it to anyone who has diabetes, type 2 diabetes.
I want to make a point.
Thank
I
you,
want to make a
Karani,
point.
but is age a factor in
No,
discontinuing?
Medicare. I mean, the medication, the pharmaceutical FDA has said that at over 70 or 75, you're not supposed to give metformin, and there's a history behind it. The reason for that is, they said your renal function goes down, and there was almost a historical fear of this lactic acidosis business in the 60s and 70s. In fact, metformin was not used for a long time in the US. But that is not, in my opinion, age-related discontinuation is not necessary. Because some people who are 85 have good renal function. So renal function should be the criteria, not the age. So, but there was a FDA warning not to give people over a certain age. They said discontinue metformin over that. That is based on the concern that they may have poor renal function. So, Padmalika, if your renal function is good, don't worry about it.
I want
Yes,
to make a
Karani,
very
thank you.
important.
But I think I have not heard from Lawrence about my question of his evaluation of a 70, 80-year-old man in USA.
Hey, 1 minute. I want to tell you something very important. I think it is about, the number of telomeres we are born with is 22. And each telomere takes our cells up to 7 years minimum. So I'm talking about the minimum, 22 and 7 years is it is 154 years. So now what WHO revised their aging system to. Now my father was given retirement papers. If you want to retire, you can retire at 45. That seemed so silly at that time. But right now, it is 154 years is the potential life span that we are born with. What happens to that 154 years? So much so people at 90, they say, I am very old. We are a good group to demonstrate that 80, we are not so old. So I think basically we should research into this. And the additional things that have come up is that some of the microbes, they can multiply the telomeres, and they said in a human telomere system, you can add up to another 8 telomeres, which is 30. Now that makes it even more complicated, because if you look after the cell very well, not exposing to too much of physical and other bias, taking medicines and things like that, cell can live up to 10 years. Now, mind you, 30 telomeres, each cell living up to 30 years, 10 years, it will be 300 years. And in Quran, it is mentioned, one of the the people of the cave who went and slept, and then they got up and said, how long have you slept? And then Quran said they slept for 300 years. It is registered. So it's an interesting thing to look at, that longevity, and not only longevity, you can live long, but crawl all the way in the last 20 years, it's not good. But longevity and youth are two important things in life. So if you can look into this as a group, it will be very nice. And all of you are good scientists and very analytical, you have good experience. So with that, I think we must go with an open mind And at the next meeting, we'll start this discussion on life care. Because we think we need to take care of each of our cells, which is, we have about 37.2 trillion cells. And when we were born, we had 6 billion cells. And we started with 1 cell. So we have gone up to that, and these 37.2 trillion cells each produce 1.5 volts of electricity. So we are a powerhouse, and this electricity that we have is around 60 or 50 over volts of electricity. 1.5 is a 1 AA battery. So you can imagine the amount of power that we have. I think we should look into the analysis of this information and then bring up booklets like for nutrition. These are the best things. And I had a book on herbal things, and then I haven't gone through it as yet. So it will be interesting to see what herbal things that will definitely support, like what Sam said, the vitamin D and K72, K2,
MK7.
MK7, yeah. So things like that, and pepper to be added to the turmeric, and all this information, small information, but they make a good information which we can combine, and we as a group can publish small booklets and let people to use. So I'm developing a web where people can join. This is for Sri Lanka and Saudi Arabia. And I met some Saudi group of people who are entrepreneurs, and there are a lot of multimillionaires. And a lot of them I found, the other important thing is the amount of muscle mass that we have. The muscle mass, the locomotor muscles are very important. And also living longevity is proportionate to the amount of muscle that we have. And most of us, okay, we can sit and relax, no more exercise, no more walking. But just contracting the muscle from period of time, dynamic, you don't see the tiger or the elephant or the bear, they do push-ups. We don't need to. We just have to stand nice, strong, and just hold your hand, or contract your muscles at the back and stand straight. I have seen a friend of mine who was my boss in Saudi Arabia. Recently, when I met him, he's crouched like this. He doesn't even stand properly. So there are lots of things where there is what you call a life extension. If it is life extension, of course, death is another event that you cannot predict. But life, you can do things for it, so you can continue with good effect on our lives.
So Lawrence,
Okay.
Lawrence put a little note there. Where's Lawrence? Lawrence, you gone into
Lawrence
the
is
Up there.
Lawrence,
Yeah.
according to the DSM, Mr. Trump has diagnosed malignant narcissism, right?
Yes.
So can you tell us what malignant narcissism is?
Okay.
the mental side.
Preoccupation with the self, incapacity.
We are not talking of Trump. We are talking of malignant narcissism.
Now hold on.
Okay. Yeah, preoccupation with the self as primacy, a sense of enormous entitlement, incapacity to recognize the needs of others, and a willingness to exploit others to what they call primary gain, to embolden one's own sense of self. So those are the primary features. Preoccupation with the self and its uniqueness and primacy. And secondly, incapacity to recognize the needs of others. That's where it sort of borders on psychopath, which what some people tend to emphasize.
Yeah, but there have been articles by some psychologists to make the diagnosis based on those criteria. And
Yeah,
it's very,
go through the DSM criteria. He does meet them.
This can I say something, Karunian?
Yeah.
In fact, I read a book by Dr. David Owen, who is a doctor, but he was also the foreign secretary in the UK government. He had written a book called In Sickness and in Power. It's a very interesting book. One of the things that he mentioned, which I have mentioned maybe before, that when India was separated into Pakistan and India, Nehru had the support of everybody, including the Muslims. But Muhammad Ali Jinnah, who was the leader of the Muslim party, whatever that was,
Muslim
he
League,
was
yeah.
insisting on separating India into two countries, right? And he said that he wanted it separated because he had the power to do it, and he insisted on it. What David Owen said, he met the British guy who went and Lord
Mountbatten.
who was the guy,
Mountbatten.
not Salisbury, the guy who did the division of India at that time.
Mountbatten was the fellow.
Mountbatten had told David Owen, had he known that Muhammad Ali Jinnah was suffering from advanced tuberculosis,
Cancer, yeah.
and he was going to die in a few months, I would never have done it. And David Owen says in his book, and this guy insisted on doing it, and it was done, and millions of people lost their life because of one man. So this is one of the facts I read in that book, which I thought anybody, person in power, he can play hell and kill thousands and millions of people.
True.
So this is a very, it's a dangerous thing for one man to have all the power.
That didn't stop there. They said East Pakistan, which is 3,000 miles away from West Pakistan, and two different countries, and made of Bengalis and the Punjabis, and it was a bad division, because there was some feud between the Muslims and the Hindus, and they thought they will divide the country to make it peaceful, but that was not true.
It was the British were mischievous in the way they divided it, which is part of the reason 1 million people are said to have been slaughtered. But it is part of the reason. But also the division itself was because of Muslim League and Ali Jinnah's, that's what they say, his personal reason. He also knew that he had lung cancer.
But only he and his doctor knew that. Nobody else knew it. This is what David Owen says in his book. And within a few months of division, this guy died.
Yeah. And Gandhi worked on. Yeah. Anyway, that's that.
Yeah, this is life, because the danger of having power. Now see what is happening in Russia. Millions are dying on both sides, mainly Russians. One man decides to invade. He has been wrongly advised. He has been told he can conquer Ukraine in 2 weeks. And now 2.5 years later, Ukrainians have encroached on part of Russia. So and millions are dying and starving. And my concern is that Trump comes to power, he might, if he refuses to give arms to Ukraine, then Russia will have the upper hand again. These are things that are happening in the world.
Very interesting.
Okay.
So anyway, the other important thing that comes up is the mental stability and mental illness and mental wellness. Mental wellness is a very important thing that we need to look into. I think this will be a very interesting thing. Here is a
I think Sarojini must give a meditation lecture again. We all need to meditate.
I think Sarojini can do that, because
the thing is, I can't concentrate on meditation. I breathe for a few minutes and then I lose track and think of something else. This is the problem.
No, but inability to focus is one of the parts of aging.
Yeah.
I try hard not to keep my main charge by reading and all that, but memory and inability to focus are two different. They are difficult, I find. When I write something for 30 minutes or 40 minutes, I lose concentration. I do anyway. So Lawrence, you can give us a talk about aging and concentration and mental health.
Yes. And I have a list of books that I have, which is very exciting. And I'll send you all of the list in the next time.
But Sam, let's
I
do
think
one vital thing is
Sam
send
starts
your
nutrition.
send your nutrition recommendations.
I'll just put
and also make sure you write that you don't have any stocks in pumpkin seeds. I think
pumpkin seeds are freely available.
Do you have a pumpkin farm? Do you have a pumpkin
I don't have a pumpkin farm. And the problem is
Why don't you eat the pumpkins itself?
Pumpkins
it's
also very good.
Even in Sri Lanka. So I have found a place that has got it.
Eat the pumpkin, you don't eat the seeds. You throw the seeds out.
No, this is it. You are supposed to, this is the most nutritious part of the pumpkin, the seeds. And people, and any nut anyway, you are supposed to eat you are supposed to eat nuts, you see. I mean,
I eat a lot of nuts, Saro.
Walnuts, almonds.
That's good. I was going to suggest, Maruf, let's have Lauren give us a nice talk next time about whatever, memory, aging, whatever he thinks we need.
Lawrence, can you talk about memory and aging?
Yeah, that is.
For me, I'll tell you, I'm still working
of the mind.
I still do some patient care. I still do some administrative work, and I have a whole bunch of things I'm learning and studying. But I find that my short-term memory, for instance, I multitask a lot. When I want to do something and I work on something else, I've forgotten the first thing. So now I started writing it down on my phone. I have a place when you have to do something, I write it down. Then I make a list. I make a list one in the morning. Then I look at what I have done and I make another one in the evening. I need those days. I didn't need this about 5 years ago or 10 years ago. And that is true. My immediate memory is impaired. That's the only thing I find going down. I think that's sorry.
Short-term recall, yes, that gets impaired as we get older.
Yeah, but can you do anything?
Can we go?
I can do something on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm traveling in the next month, so probably nearer December would be better.
All right.
That's okay. Let's settle for a date in December. That's
Where are
fine.
you going?
Look, we are building blocks.
And I've got some.
Where are you traveling to, Lawrence?
To Sri Lanka, but after that I've got some. Yeah, my brother. So I'm going for the memorial in October, 1st of October.
Where?
In Colombo.
Oh, back to Colombo.
Maruf, I have put something on the website on the on
WhatsApp,
your app,
WhatsApp,
on the
group.
WhatsApp.
Okay.
On from Mayo Clinic about healthy aging. It's in there now on your phone. You'll see it.
Okay.
I don't get it. I don't have it. Slimo?
Slimo, I sent it.
I don't have it here.
You have it?
No. Maru, we have too many Slimos, I think.
I think I need to cut them.
I sent
only one.
No, it does not.
Yeah, I got it.
You got it? You got it? Mayo Clinic?
Yeah. I got it. 8 brain health tips for a healthier you. Right. That's a very good thing. Because
my wife and I, we have a trainer now. Twice a week, we go to a trainer.
For what?
To just build up our muscles and our endurance. And I do cardio I do on my own. 5 days,
but all you have to do is climb a few stairs, Karnia. That's true.
I do.
All you have to do is
actually,
never take a lift. Always use the stairs. Be
Yeah,
careful when you're coming down.
I don't have it, but actually, this guy, he's a trainer, but we are the oldest people we have. Both of us go together. He's building my muscles are getting bigger. See, my forearm is getting bigger. My bicep is getting bigger. I'm squatting and getting up. And
what is your BMI now?
My BMI is 25.
25. What about your circumference at the waist divided by
I use trousers that are 34 or 36.
no, but what is your circum 36 divided by your height? Is it less than 0.5?
No, I haven't looked at that. I have to look at the height and see. I think I'm getting a little shorter.
So it's the people with muscles, because BMI doesn't apply. If you are muscular, you are supposed to divide your circumference at the waist. Waist means between your lower
Truncal,
and
truncal
the
obesity.
breast, halfway.
Truncal obesity, yeah. No, I have fat accumulation in the stomach.
It should be less than 1.5.
Yes, I know. I have a South Asian belly, so that's a big problem. But I use my fitness pal. You know what that is?
No.
Saro, you know what my fitness pal is?
I have heard of it.
No, that's a diet controller. So that can give you the calorie count and the protein count and all the vitamins and the minerals in every food you eat. So I put it into that to see, and it also you can have the barcode, and I look at how much calories, what protein I eat. About off and on I look at it, and it's called My Fitness Pal, and you can know exactly what you're eating.
Yes, there is one more thing, negative ion. Here is a thing I am wearing here. 1.47 million negative ions per cubic centimeter it is producing. And in Niagara Falls, you have 110,000 negative ions per cubic centimeter. And in the factory, where it's very busy and things like that, and it has only about 50 negative ions. That's why the waterfalls, the beach, where there is about 2,000, 3,000, and the roads that you are in, it will have only about 200 or 300. So I think the negative ions are the products of the breathing, and the value of positive ions and negative ions, there is a big difference. And this is a thing given by God in plenty, but we don't use it. So I think again, that's a thing. I wear this. My wife wears this every day, and I wear this for the last 2 years. And it also maintains the level of the serotonin level. And I have a whole presentation of about 70 slides, and I can show it to you all. And it will be a great thing. And I can get you these devices for free for the Slimo members.
No, if you follow what is in the Mayo Clinic, you'll be fine. You read what is there, what I have sent.
Okay, I will do that.
As long as you keep your brain healthy.
Yeah, that's true.
That is a critical thing.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Sam.
The control.
It says, work up a sweat, protect your head, take care of your health, meet up with friends. You know, socialization.
Yeah, very vital.
Very important thing. Socialization. That's why these Zooms are good. Number two, in my opinion, you must also have purpose. You can't just socialize and talk nonsense and go. You must have purpose. And that's why people like what Narada is doing and charity or helping others at this stage, we have so much knowledge and information. Get a good night's sleep, make a salad, challenge your brain. Yeah, very important.
Yeah, I find it very useful. I have sent to several people, and they find it quite useful. I mean, I don't do. I mean, I have stopped practicing, but I do give talks to groups of people. Purely, my interest has been pain management, and I talk to people in banks and places like that in Sri Lanka. I give a talk to them. I take my model of the spine that I have and talk to them about these problems and how you can get backache and how to avoid it and that kind of thing. And they find it very, very useful. I don't use slides at all. I take my model with me, and I have about 15, 20 people around me, and so that they can ask me questions, and I talk to them about that, and they find it extremely useful.
It will be very useful.
Okay.
So Sam.
Yeah.
So you did, but pain management, you do, obviously you gave injections and all that, is it?
Yeah, I did everything that was available, but I find a lot of people today are very conservative in their pain management. For instance, everybody is scared to do cervical epidurals. They're scared. Because they don't do them when I talk to the current guys. I used to do cervical epidurals, thoracic epidurals, lumbar epidurals, caudals, facet joint blocks, facet joint innervations, all manner of things I used to do. Some of these guys don't do. You see, because they are a bit worried that something might go wrong. And then they say when you are doing epidurals for main management, that you should not do more than 3. I thought, what's the point in just doing 3 and waiting and do nothing? These guys still in pain. Every time I put in a epidural with local anesthetic and steroid, the guys get relief for 3 to 4 months, sometimes up to 6 months. So, and they say, doctor, I got pain again. I say, okay, let's do it. There are guys, there was one patient who had epidural injections by me for 10 years. And, they worried, and he has been comfortable right throughout his life. Now I see him on the high street and he says the doctors now don't want to do too many. And then I had a separate acupuncture clinic. They have stopped that also. And I had about 20, 30 patients who came to my acupuncture clinic on a Friday afternoon. I used to do acupuncture on all of them. And they were very happy. They used to come every 4 to 6 weeks for it. They have stopped that clinic also. But one of the reasons
these all in England, right?
All in England, yeah. And I did some in Sri Lanka for about 5 to 7 years. I worked in 2 hospitals, Nowlok and Central Hospital. Now, of course, now I've given up, because you lose confidence as you get older. All I do is give little talks here and there to people, groups of people.
So Sam, can you give us that? I'm curious about exactly how the both. One is acupuncture, how you say it works, what you do.
How it works. How it works.
You give us a talk on one of our things. Informal, like this.
I can give a chat from like this, Carnian.
Chat.
I hate this informal. I can't.
But tell me, how does your epidural work?
Epidural works is Carnian. For instance, if you have a patient with backache, for instance, and the patient, so I have told all the general practitioners, I used to tell them, don't refer them to the orthopedic surgeon. That guy will want to cut. Always refer the patient to the pain clinic. So I do a scan and find this guy has got a disc protrusion. The guy has a disc protrusion. Lot of it is inflammatory. Not the mechanical pressure. So if you put in an epidural mixed with steroid, that reduces the inflammation and relieves the pain. Some people say take the steroid orally, but that's useless. When you take steroids orally, only a little bit gets down there. That's one. Second, some of the other things that we do is I have done few things, not many cases of where you just cannot relieve the pain. You actually put in morphine infusions. You basically go through the dura into the subarachnoid space, and you have a catheter, and you have tunnel the catheter and bring it all the way up to the iliac fossa, and you've got a pump that releases a small dose of morphine in and keeps the patient pain-free. Whereas if you take morphine orally, only a little bit gets down there, but you're filled with all the side effects you can think of. Whereas here, the dose is so tiny, it gets to the exact point to relieve the pain. So that's the kind of stuff I used to do. So
part of the NHS. These all part of the NHS.
NHS plus I used to see some private patients also in the private hospital, but most of it is NHS. I started it on my own. I had no training. When I started I was a consultant appointed in 1979. They told me, you are the new guy, you got to start a pain clinic. I said, I know nothing about it. They said, go and learn. So I went to a few guys. I came to US many times. I came to US.
For anesthesia, you were the anesthesia.
I was the anesthesia. Sorry, you got to have anesthesia knowledge to have anesthesia to do into pain management. So that being the case, I started.
We'll talk later. Yeah.
35 years.
This is quite getting interesting.
So most of my work was pain eventually, by the time it was the latter part of my career. And because a lot of the guys are...
It's a very big money-making thing.
Sorry?
It's a huge money maker here in the US.
I know that because I know one of my colleagues one of my friends is having some transforaminal injections for his nerve root pain. In fact, I never did those because I think it's a bit risky trying to approach the intervertebral foramen where there's a nerve root coming out and sticking a needle in there. You could even damage the nerve. You got to go. So this is very common. Now, this guy already has had 2. He's having a third one of these sometime next month. Transforaminal epidurals. And then I was surprised the way they did it. They put him on the table, gave him some sedation, did the thing, and put him on a wheelchair immediately. I feel that is not the right way to do it. You put a patient in that position, you got to keep that patient on the trolley for at least 30 minutes for what you put in to get fixed to the nerves. So he said he had it done and he had no relief. So now he's going to see another guy for it. Because he's got S1 root problem because it's the sciatic pain is along the sciatic root and it goes to the lateral side.
This is in the US?
Yeah, in the US.
And they charge a lot of money.
They charge a lot of money. In fact, I had a patient in Sri Lanka. He said he had his epidural done in US and it didn't work. One of my friends, Kemal Farhan, who is a cardiologist, he said, "Can you see the guy?" Because I was practicing there. And I read the epidural and he was fine. So I don't know whether these guys have said they won't do more than 3. So now this friend of mine is going to have the second one. I said, and he have said maximum 3 because that is the protocol. I didn't follow any of that. One of the patients I had for 10 years. In fact, must have put in 30 or 40 epidurals over the years. There's nothing wrong with the guy. He's comfortable. The important thing is to relieve the pain. You know, you don't think of other things, protocols and things like that are useless when it comes to somebody suffering from chronic pain. It's not an acute problem. Acute problem you can solve. Chronic pain is a different area because it affects them psychologically. They have family problems, all manner of things. They can't do their job of work. So I see some of these guys in town when I walk about because I have time now. I walk about in town. I still see some of my old patients. And the guys say, the pain user, they have done away with your acupuncture clinic. They don't do some of the things that you used to do. Because I learned from nobody, you see. I just practiced on my own, basically. And
Common sense.
Anyway, enough said. Sorry.
No, but Sam, that is very useful, Majan.
I think it's a very exciting thing because I think we came across a lot of information, and the last hour and a half or so, it was very exciting because of the fact that we came together in sort of exchange of knowledge and things like that. It was very good. I think the next meeting will be on the 27th, 29th. Oh, let me see.
So Sam, what is we'll get a good program. I think Lawrence said he'll give a talk on memory and aging.
No.
Sam can.
I can't give talks. I'll just give.
But this is good, Majan. But you said just
I will pop in and say what my experiences basically.
But that's good.
I can't give formalized talk at all.
No. Sam, if you will send the information, I can assemble it together to leave it on when you are talking. That the so-called slide can come up, and the next meeting will be on the 29th of September, and
I'll still be in UK.
You will be in the UK.
Yeah.
Okay, so then you can talk
is it 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock? Can you make it 6 o'clock?
It will,
instead of you guys meeting at
person affected by the 6 o'clock timing is
Australia guys.
The Australian,
okay, all right.
But they hardly come. No, only Benja comes. Banda has not come, and nobody else from New Zealand has come.
Vikramasekaran doesn't come. I'll call the guy.
Yeah, but they are on the where is
Karunya, you and I will coordinate about the time,
Yeah.
and then I will put the exact time without making mistakes like this time.
But let's not have all chat. We have a little bit of program. I know Sam is against organized intellectual discourses.
I get
No,
confused.
it's not an organized intellectual. It's a chat like this,
Yeah.
but with
Chatting,
things that
we
you can
can-
take back with us. You know.
Okay, but we'll have to get. We have a lot of suggestions today. Narada did a good job. We have Lawrence can give us an interesting talk, and Ranjit gave a talk on deafness. Maybe he can give a little talk on that.
Yeah.
Old
Okay.
aging and deafness. Ranjit, can he do that?
Yeah.
Huh?
Ranjit.
Yeah.
Aging and deafness. Kane ka deno.
But
Dipani na kane.
as you age, you get deaf. What can you do? That is life.
No, I think you can
remove the wax.
Hey guys,
Naro
I
is
gotta
going to
go.
tell us how to meditate, huh?
I know. I think, well, I think hearing talking is useless. It's just got to be done. So anyway, I'm gonna leave. It was really nice meeting everyone, seeing everyone. Thank you, Maru, for the reminder.
For me,
tell you the time. We have
thank
gone
you, Saro. Thank you.
Gone for 3 hours.
Okay.
But it has
Saro,
been
did
a
you go
very
and protest
interesting
at the? Did
discussion.
you go with the protesters at the Chicago convention?
No, I was out of town, but I generally don't go protesting like that. So anyway, it's a lot of armchair talk. Take care.
Yeah.
Okay, take
All
care.
the best to you.
Let's
Thanks a lot for coming.
Bye.
I think.
Bye. I think we better close up, Maru.
Okay.
Take care. Bye.
Pathalingam has a comment. I think the Slimo is a good organization. We have to have more participants in this organization and include even people from Notabad, from other areas, because we will avoid getting Alzheimer's by continuing this monthly. That's my suggestion. I think, especially today, Sam did a very good talk about healthcare and what is good to do in various situations, and the epidural and all these type of things. I think I'm very proud of our batch, but we have to grow as a batch, and knowledge is power. With that, I will stop.
Yeah, the person who has the knowledge, diarrhea.
Pathalingam, did you go to St.
I'm
John's?
happy that we spent 3 hours usefully.
Padmalingam, did you go to your old school?
Pardon me?
Did you go to your old school?
No, not yet.
Did you go to your old school?
I will.
Old school.
I have already made comment about.
Yeah. Yes.
We can improve it. I'll talk to you in person on the telephone, Karunian, about what could be done.
I used to. Do you remember Karunian? I used to get you guys to argue with each other. In fact, I used to ask Patrick Chella, which is a better school? Is it St. John's or Jefferson? Then you two guys start arguing. I watched the fun.
Sam comes and says,
number 45.
Karunian, can you give me a lift to the medical school? He says, sure. Half an hour later, I say,
no, Karunian said, it won't start
in Sri Lanka.
But you got to give a
15th of January.
I give a little push at the damn thing.
I know.
And I push it right up to radio signal. And I'm sweating away.
Half an hour later, Sam is walking.
Then he comes back and puts a wash and sleeps.
Sam, you did a very good job, Sam.
Oh, those days are very interesting.
Yeah.
Those were the days. And did I tell you about that? I have told this many times about, who was the guy who was obstetrician, not Chinna, Sinnathambi.
Sinnathambi,
Yeah, did I tell you the story about?
No. Tell me.
When he had his ward classes, I didn't know because the senior guys only, they used to say, the Sinnathambi had this habit. When he has award class, everybody's standing. He had this habit of playing with some guy is yellow. The nearest guy is yellow, he'll be playing with the yellow. Right? So then he'll ask a question. If that guy gives a wrong answer, he said, mudhead, and squeezes this guy's yellow. The poor guy had nothing to do with it.
Sam, say hi to Nalin. Say hi to Nalin. Dancing, sundown dancing partners.
Yeah, I know.
Maru, Sam,
8
Nalin,
p.m.
and me.
8 p.m. to 8 a.m.
So, these are some of the things that we hear. You know, these guys who are senior to us counting at Blom.
Yeah.
These stories.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know whether it's true. Who are the
It's very likely true.
Professor of surgery at our time.
Navaratna.
No. Before that.
Paul.
Paul. Milroy Paul.
True. Paul was operating or doing some abdominal operation, and his wife turned up. He was terrified of his wife. This Milroy Paul, and he's supposed to have. I don't know how far it's true. And one of the guys was telling me, his wife came in and said, "Milroy, show me the heart," and he's supposed to have promptly cut the diaphragm. Show the heart to the wife. I don't know how far it's true. These are the talks that was spreading.
No, but they all said she was sort of dominated by his wife.
Yeah, very much so. The story is that when
best experience I had with
Milroy Paul both operated on their father on the kitchen table at home. There are all these stories that spread, some of these aren't true. No.
But I had the Milroy Paul experience. He wants to excise the elephantiasis, and he says, "Maruf, you're all right?" And I have to carry his leg, elephantiasis leg, until he decided the whole thing out.
You remember Niles? Niles, who was the OPD surgeon?
Yeah.
He didn't want to operate.
Yeah.
He was always OPD surgeon.
I know.
Finally, he was told, you got to take up a ward, right? Then he was given a ward next door to Milroy Paul's. And we are doing the ward round, and suddenly he finds he will only do hernias, nothing else. And he finds a patient who needs a laparotomy. Then he says, I think Professor Paul will be interested in this case, transfer him to Professor Paul's ward. So he only did a couple of hernias.
No, you know what he says? He says to the man, get consent from him. So he says, Loka, may oyata loku operation කරන්න ඕනේ. එහෙනම් මහත්ය කරනවා නම් කමක් නැහැ. You can do it. And then he says, මේ ලොකා මේ ඔපරේෂන් කරනකොට මැරෙන්නත් පුළුවන්. No, sir, මේ මොන හරි වෙන බෙහෙත්යක් තියනවාද? Put down that he refuses operation.
Yeah. Well, I'll take your leave when we have had a good chat.
Yeah. Good chat. Okay, I'm about to go to work. Okay, Maru, thank you.
Okay.
Give me a call when you have time. Later
Okay, I will.
Thanks, Maru. I'm speaking from Malaga, Spain.
Malaga, Spain.
Oh, wonderful. What are you doing there, Nigani?
All alone for the first time.
Oh
I had my husband on this timeshare holidays and managed to get a few friends round, but this is going to be the last. It's awful being on your own. I mean, I came here safely, but it's my second day, but I thought the Slimo meeting was important as well. So
That's very kind of you joining.
Thank you for joining.
Thank you for joining, Nigani.
Thanks.
You have a timeshare there.
Who is the patient person on Samsung SM M1468? I wonder who it is. Yeah.
Nilani, I want to make a comment. Giving is better than taking.
Definitely.
Nilani, a good giver.
Yes. I was the sole breadwinner from 2014 or something, because Bandula never earned once he came to UK. And I'm glad about my position today, all due to my untiring efforts, to save money and give it on charity.
Fantastic.
Thank you,
Fantastic.
Nilani.
Thank you, Linani.
Okay, take care.
Thank you,
Bye,
Karnian and
everybody.
Padmalingam.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Sam, I
Thank
like
you,
to meet you. I
Maru.
have a severe pain
Raul.
in the neck. I'll contact you to get some advice
Sam has
right
gone.
now.
Sam has gone. We will tell him. Yeah, no problem. I
Then
think-
I'll contact him through you, Maruf,
Yeah,
because
sure.
I'm
sure.
wearing a neck pillow as well. I don't know.
Yeah, I will send you his number if you want.
Yeah, okay. Thanks, Maruf.
Okay.
Thanks, Alok. Bye.
Thanks.
Benita,
Bye,
bye-bye.
everybody.
See you.
Have a good
Thanks,
Sunday.
Padmaningam. Thanks, Arul. Bye. Bye.
Bye. There is one more person there, but I want to know who it is.
Have a good night, Maruf.
Okay, you too.
Congratulations on being a great grandfather.
I have a
Great
beautiful.
grandfather.
Yeah, I
So
know.
quickly.
She
How
came
is the
yesterday.
baby doing?
She's fine.
Bye. Good
Bye
night.
then. Good night. Hello? Hello? Can you unmute yourself? Hi, Mohan. You're muted, Mohan. That is why I was wondering. Mohan, I can't hear you because you are muted. Thanks for remaining with us. I have to talk to you on the phone. Hello. Your sound was muted, so that's why we couldn't hear anything from you. You know, on the even now I don't hear through the Zoom. You know, on the left side, on the left lower corner, you get a microphone there. You have to click on that, and then that thing will. Oh. Yeah, now I can hear you, but not on Zoom is gone already. Zoom.